and welcome to the very first episode of The Masked Cricketer, a podcast based on the live show that took place over the UK lockdown of 2020. In this episode, Woodsy talks to the Masked Cricketer about their influences, their cricket journey so far, as well as those tough "who's your favourite" questions. The show and this podcast are all about raising awareness for the Lord's Taverners charity, who provides support to disadvantaged and disabled young people through sport and recreation. Right, we better get on to it. Woodsy, who's the Masked Cricketer?
Are you the one and only George Tate? It is George Tate. Take it.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on a Tuesday evening for a promo. Just to give you an update on one or two things. As you heard there, exciting news. We are now ready to go, certainly on Spotify, for our podcast. Our first 6 episodes will be updated on there from our very own Carla Buckingham, who's kindly done the voiceover there, which I'm sure you agree was absolutely brilliant. Better than us, much better tone to it. So we thank Carla very much indeed. And yes, we are definitely on Spotify. So you just search The Masked Cricketer and we're on there and you can follow us. So the first 6 episodes of the series 1, while we're not on air, you will be able to listen to the Q&A with that particular player in the first 6 episodes that we did, which will be very local, but really worth a listen. Some really good stories and some insight into cricket and also some advice for cricketers getting into the game as well. So it's really worth listening to. It is condensed. We obviously don't do the yes/no questions. We go straight into the Q&A with the player. So if you're on a train or in the car and you've got a bit of a journey, stick that on. First, 45 minutes, you'll get all the information accordingly. And I noticed I'm on Wi-Fi tonight. I'm not wired and I'm already buffering, but hopefully you can hear me okay. It's okay. I'm probably... Kieran is aware of one or two things that have happened since our very special Christmas edition of the Masked Cricketer with Jonathan Agnew, who was, somebody had mentioned to me, it was like sitting at the end of the garden with a glass of wine, listening to TMS, like A View from the Boundary. He was that good. And he was quite complimentary to the Woodsy and K-Dog, which I think was high praise indeed. He almost thought we were professional, that we didn't just throw this together. Oh, yes, we do.
We definitely did.
But we are quite excited about the podcast going out because that's something else. It's just adding an extra arm to the Masked Cricketer, where bit difficult to hashtag Ask the Mask on that, but it's another arrow to our bow, as it were. So excited about that. It will also go out on Google Podcasts. It will also go out on Radio Public and also Breaker. But we're waiting for that to all come through. So all quite exciting stuff, and we might even get it out even further, but we'll see there. The other exciting news, certainly in the new year, there will be an article at some point in the Cricketer about the Masked Cricketer, which again I'm really excited about, and that might also appear on some digital channels as well through the Cricketers digital channels. So Masked Cricketer is getting known, and we still want people to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that we can build up that to 1,000 subscribers if we can. That would be brilliant if we could do that. Kieran, I know we got some thank yous certainly to Mr. Paul Humphreys, but I'll let you come in on this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, what a fantastic guest we had on Thursday, and thanks to Paul Humphreys from Pop Activation. You were ahead of the game there on me, Daryl, but thanks to Paul. He very kindly donated a prize, actually, and he also donated £200 to the charity on the night as well, which has taken us over the £3,000 mark. Yay! That's so good. We're getting towards that £5,000, and obviously, if that happens, K-Dog's got to do a half marathon. That's not going to be very good, but I'm going to give it a go. I was actually speaking to somebody today that does marathons, triathlons all the time, and he reckons I can do it. He's confident I can do it. So let's get to that £5,000, guys, and then we can see K-Dog doing the Oxford Half next year. It might be the only one I ever do. It might be the last day on the planet for me, but I'm going to give it a go. Even if I walk around it, I will give it a go. So, yeah, it's got to be worth a donation. So, massive thank you to Paul Humphreys. That was such a generous donation to get us above the 3,000. He also helped offering a prize for the first correct guess of last week's show if it was guessed within 10 questions. And it was actually guessed on the 10th question by Frankie Crouch, who most people in Oxfordshire know very well, an Oxford Downs player, a bit of a legend, a bit of a wicketkeeper with a white helmet, Alex Stewart-esque, fantastic old-fashioned white helmet. And Frankie Crouch has been incredibly generous. Although he won that, he has also donated that £50 prize back to the Masked Cricketer. So that is fantastic, Frankie. Thank you so put my teeth in. Frankie, thank you so much for that. That was a really generous gesture as well. We're really grateful. The other winner, we did actually have two winners last week because we still had, as we have every week, the bottle of something very pleasant, red or white or sparkling. And that went to somebody who I can't remember, Joe Harris. That was it. Sorry, how can I forget that? And he won that, and we'll be getting that out hopefully before Christmas. Possibly it's already on its way, but as always, a massive thank you to Graham Woodward from Great Minds in Summertown. He's been another brilliant supporter of this. I've said this a few times before, but the prize that he provided for the charity game back in the summer, a whole case of wines from all over the world, that must have been worth £100 or more. And it was a brilliant prize, and it was snapped up and very gratefully received. I'm sure that we'd all like to thank Graham for his generous support. He's a massive supporter of local cricket, and I'm sure that when we look ahead to our charity game in 2021 on May the 31st at a certain club, and I'm going to catch Darren out here because he's not going to flash it up because he's going to forget all about it. You would have it there ready, wouldn't you?
Too quick,
so,
mate.
31st of May, date for your diary. Oxford Downs Cricket Club, the rematch, the Masked Cricketers versus the Lords Taverners at Oxford Downs Cricket Club. Hopefully by that point we will be COVID-free, or at least very much past the worst of it with the vaccine coming, and we will hopefully have a fantastic day. We had 250 people in attendance at the game on the 31st of August, which was very COVID secure. With any luck, we'll hopefully be able to double that, or maybe even treble that in May. Fingers crossed, and pray that that we're behind this terrible COVID, and we can have a fantastic day and raise lots more money for the Lords Taverners, who are supporting disability and disadvantaged children in cricket. And it's a brilliant cause, and Darren and I are really proud to be a part of that. Interesting little point from Thursday, wasn't it, Darren? Although Jonathan Aggers did commit to attending the game, and I kind of don't blame him because he's probably cricketed out by May. He has said that there is an airfield very near to him, and you're not going to get away with it, because he said, come to the airfield, you can jump out of the plane and he'll give you the check when you land. So you've got to land safely so you can get the check, but what a gesture that is, jumping out of an aeroplane into the arms of Aggers. I mean, you can't ask for more than that, can you?
No, not really, I suppose. Yeah, possibly. But
you're so looking forward to it.
Very good of him.
You're so looking forward to it. I was really chuffed actually with what Aggers said. He was very supportive. He's the president of the Leicestershire branch of the Lords Taverners, massively committed and passionate. And as you say, Darryl, wasn't it a brilliant listen? I mean, it really was like listening to one of the View from the Boundaries. And I'm not just saying that because we were interviewing him. I listened back to it, and also the sound quality was great. There was no buffering. It was brilliant. It was because we were in the Christmas spirit, wasn't it?
Yeah, we managed to really spoil two Christmas tunes that week, hadn't we? But
yeah,
I definitely did. I can assure you. But people's ears were bleeding, I would guess. But we've had fun, haven't we? We've had some fun with certain things, but to get the guests on and for them to be complimentary to something that's very amateur was nice to hear. So
It really was.
Aggers. And you know, he'd had a bad day that day, I have to say, as well, and he came across brilliantly. You never have thought anything had happened during that day, but so you know, take my hat off, doff my cap to Aggers. He was absolutely sensational. If you haven't seen it, please go to our YouTube channel, search the Mars Cricketer and the Christmas special. It's a special thumbnail on there. You'll know it's the Christmas special straight away. Go on there, have a look, because it is worth a listen and a watch, I have to say.
And I've got to say, for the 1,200 members on our Facebook group and the something like 90 or 85, 90 subscribers, you're in this from the start. This is going to get much, much bigger. There's going to be many more subscribers, many more members, and you've been in it from the start. So you're part of this challenge and this journey with us, guys and girls, because without your support and without your sort of constantly watching and accepting our shares and joining us every week, this wouldn't be happening. So you're every bit as much as us helping us with this cause. And all I'd say, and I'm sure Darryl will agree, I mean, first and foremost, I'm amazed that we're on Spotify. We're now challenging Meghan and Harry. I mean, you know, who wants to listen to Meghan and Harry when they can listen to K-Dog and Woodsy? Come on. Sorry, Woodsy and K-Dog. Sorry, how dare I say K-Dog and Woodsy? But those that are listening on Facebook and on YouTube, please share the group, share the Facebook group, try and get more members. We accept pretty much everybody. Please, if you haven't already subscribed to YouTube, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, because if we can get it to 1,000 subscribers, which is a long way off, I accept that. If we can get to 1,000 subscribers, then we can start really pushing it, and it will help us to monetize the YouTube channel, and all the money will go to the Lord's Taverners, which is a great cause. It really is. If you just have a search on some of the things that the Lord's Taverners support, table cricket, wickets, and super ones, it's just inspiring. We've obviously had our inspirational stories with George and with Damon, and with, how can you forget, Crew? I mean, honestly, Crew is just a little marvel, and we love him to bits. The mascot of Oxfordshire Disability Cricket, and I dare say, Darryl, from his energy levels, he's going to be a little star himself in the future, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. You know, he's my favourite. You know, he's my favourite. Yeah.
He certainly is, yeah. So, yeah, guys and girls, please do share the channel, share our Facebook page, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You just have to search The Masked Cricketer on YouTube, get these subscriptions up. You're in it from the start. Enjoy the podcast, the first 6 of the podcast. We're going to have these going all the way through. So you're never going to be without cricket. You're never going to be starved of cricket. And as Woodsy says, they're a good listen. And they're actually professionally put together now, because we've got somebody quite good introducing us as well. So Carla Buckingham, a massive thank you to you, Carla. It actually makes us almost sound professional, Darryl. Nearly.
Almost, nearly. But yes, it is brilliant that Carla's on board, I have to say, and it does sound professional in the package where she's edited some of the real bits where we've been umming and ahhing, and there's been
all of it.
Yeah, pretty much. That's edited out. If there's been a technical problem with Wi-Fi or whatever, she's edited that bit out as well. So you get a full listen. It's a much better rounded listen, I would suggest. So yeah, please do support that as well if you can. I mean, it's good to catch up. I mean, it was March, George Tate. That was ages ago. Good to catch up what he was saying, you know. So there's some really good stuff on it, actually. George did really well in our first week. He set this all up, and I think it's really brilliant for him to be part of it and be our first podcast as well. So there we go.
Okay, what better excuse than to listen? I wasn't on the first one, so you don't even get to hear me, which is a bonus for everybody.
You do get mentioned because you ask about 10 questions, actually, so you must have been listening.
I was listening. Very good. If I did say so myself. Yeah, no, it's been brilliant, and we've had such a lot of fun. We have got a New Year special, as Woodsy said. It's going to be, need we say it's going to be a classic now? Do we have to say that anymore? It's going to be a classic. It's going to be amazing. And then we come back in February for a run of 8 to 10 episodes, which will see us through to the start of the new cricket season. So we've potentially got 11 or 12 episodes in total, and I think it's fair to say, Woodsy, that every single one will be worth a listen.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, that's an interesting question. We've been asked a question, Kieran.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Woodsy and Kadar, what was your best show? Well, one after each other, where I say it's my favourite, actually, Matthew, to be fair, because they've all got something a little bit different from my perspective. Even though, when I look back, we do ask similar questions, the answers are really interesting and quite varied. And I think that is what makes it for me. It's just the randomness of it all, of how we go about it. And like I say, we very rarely script. We might have a few questions up our sleeves in case the questions don't come in from the audience. But, with Aggers the other day, we only had to ask one question and away he went. He answered another 10 questions, really, without us doing anything, which was, brilliant. I mean, he's used to doing it, of course. But for us, that was a walk in the park. I would say at the moment, and I think Kieran would probably agree, is that, they've all been brilliant in their own right. I really do, hand on heart, believe that. When I started to listen back to one or two, and there's some decent stuff on there. But probably, I was overawed a little bit when we had Adam Lamb on, because he was one of my favourite cricketers. But my favourite actual scene is Brunt and Siver and the Monk issue, because that is just hilarious. I love that with a passion. So lots of highlights. It's hard to pick out one, isn't it, Kieran? What's your thoughts?
Oh yeah, as you say, every single episode has been wonderful. If I had to pick one, it's hard to say picking any as a favourite, really, isn't it? But if I had to pick one, I think I've mentioned it before. I think Charlotte Edwards was brilliant. She was such a good sport, wasn't she? She was over in Australia quarantining. It was different time zone. We got her up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and she still came on and she looked as fresh as a daisy. And she was brilliant. And she didn't want to leave us. She wanted to talk to us all day because she was quarantining on her own, and she was brilliant. They were all brilliant. I honestly can't sort of say that anyone was particularly better than another. But in terms of talking to somebody and simply the fact that it was that time in the morning over there, so early in the morning, I think Charlotte Edwards for me. But Aggers last week, I mean, he's an absolute hero of mine. He's a hero of many of our viewers. I know Wes Spearman was watching, and Wes has aspirations to get into that himself. And I know that he was thrilled to have that one. You were thrilled, Daryl, because, we've all listened to Aggers, haven't we, growing up? We've listened to him. I listened to him when my dad used to do the garden. I was in the garden. It brought back memories of my childhood, actually, sitting in the garden on a deck chair, probably doing very little, which is normally the case with me, learning actually from somebody like Aggers, learning how to talk about sport, not just cricket, how to talk about sport. And I got into sports reporting basically listening to people like Aggers and people like John Motson and people like Richie Beno and David Lloyd, and they're the people that I've always looked up to. And to have, you said something similar when we had David Gower on, to have the likes of Aggers on the same screen as us talking cricket, it was surreal. It was amazing. And it's all raising money for a fantastic cause as well. So hand on heart, Matthew, I can't pick a real favourite. Charlotte Edwards, in terms of the content and the fact that the time difference. Jonathan Agnew, because he's a legend and a hero of mine. Gower and Gassi, all the Ashes winners. I mean, goodness me, we've had 9 or 10 Ashes winners. I mean, did we really think, Daryl, let's hand on heart just before we close, did we really think, no disrespect to George Tate and George Sandbach and, people at the start, Paul Humphreys, Rob Cunliffe rushing around his room trying to find a Wi-Fi signal. Did we hand on heart think that 10 months later we'd still be here and we'd have been speaking to the legends of the game that we've been speaking to?
No, I think, I still can't quite believe it. It's been a surreal experience. It's been a lovely experience because I'm learning all the time, learning how to do this, which I enjoy actually. But, to just listen to some of the stories from the greats, Ryan Sidebottom came out with some classics. He was very funny. Matthew Hoggard, when I asked him the wrong question first up.
What was his batting average?
It was about 7, you see. I thought I'd go in there, hit him hard, hard reporting. But you're learning all the time. And in fairness, he came back at us, didn't he, to be fair? And he was right to do that. And that's probably in some respects, the hardest one we've had to do. And that was purely my fault by going in with the wrong question first. So you're learning all the time, aren't you? I mean, that's somebody's put there. Simon Jones was theirs. Yeah, it was brilliant. He was brilliant.
Everyone. Andrew Strauss. We've glossed over Andrew Strauss, a 3 times Ashes winning captain. I mean, the first night of the second series.
It was the first.
Which was quite a clever little catchphrase, Darryl. I'll give you that. That was all thought up by yourself, that wasn't it? So that was a little clue, everybody. So that was a little clue on his promo. First night of the second series. Nobody guessed for a while, but what I would say about Andrew Strauss is he was so patient with us because we had a few technical issues, I think, with the Wi-Fi. I think it was both ends. It wasn't just your end. I think that his kids maybe were on their gaming consoles or whatever, and we had a few issues, but we got through a fantastic hour. Straussy was brilliant, and I noted recently, he's got Oxfordshire connections. He put a lovely message on Oxfordshire cricket channels recently, wishing everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. People like that don't forget their roots. Miles Hammond hasn't forgotten his roots. He was an Oxfordshire boy. We've virtually named every single one now, Darren, haven't we? It just goes to show we can't really pick a favourite. They've been brilliant. Matthew, that answers your question, actually. Does any Gloucestershire players that we think could play for England? I think Miles Hammond has still got a chance of playing for England. He's a good enough player to do so. He's a fantastic player, Matthew. Matthew Taylor, he's another one of our former Oxfordshire players that could do it. James Bracey, of course, who already, he's on the fringes now. So there's so many star names in the Gloucestershire round. We've got a bit of an affinity with Gloucestershire. We've got an affinity with all the surrounding counties. And we've thoroughly enjoyed all this, and it's not going to stop. Sadly for you guys, we're going to have more and more of this. So you're not going to lose out on this for long. You're only going to wait just about 2 weeks before the next one, and then just a few weeks off, and then we start in earnest with Series 3. And goodness me, Darryl, haven't we got some guests lined up for Series 3? No spoilers.
No spoilers, but yeah, it's as good as Series 1 and 2 for sure. Somebody's there couldn't pick a favourite. They all brought different things to the show. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I agree. Matthew, one thing I will say is one for the future, and I am absolutely convinced he'll wear an England shirt. Ben Charlesworth. There you go. You heard it here first. I'm pretty confident that young man will go on to bigger and better things. That's what I believe. But it'll be interesting to see his journey as a cricketer. But yeah, as a Gloucestershire player, he's got as good a chance as any, I assure you. So they've got some good young players, Matthew. So we're watching them with interest because there's Tom and Ollie Price coming up on the ranks as well there. So on the side, so that's really good from an Oxfordshire cricket point of view and exciting for sure.
Of course, one thing I was going to say, Darryl, to encourage people to watch the next series, at some stage, are you going to finally succumb and let Ricky Ponting on the show? He's pestering us week after week. Is he going to come on eventually? I know that he keeps ringing. Are we going to get him on? What do you reckon?
He's texting me now and saying, come on, let's sort something out. And I was like, well, I haven't really got a date in the diary that we can fit you in, Ricky. Well, I called it Ponting actually, but I said, we probably would want Gary Pratt instead of you anyway. So
get them both on together.
Could get them on together.
Yeah,
that would be a good run out, wouldn't it?
It would. Very good. Very good.
Sorry, I'll move quickly on after that, and I should do. No, look, it's been a great experience. I've loved every single second of it, and I know K-Dog has as well. And I think you guys have been able to listen to some legends of the game. You wouldn't have got if lockdown hadn't arrived. So, we also could be in a situation going further forward. We've done so many songs now. We might be able to release an album, Kieran.
So I'd start getting some more lyrics then. I'll tell you what, how about this for an option then? if anybody wants a song for me and Woodsy to completely ruin with our own lyrics, put a message in the box, and me and Woodsy will write a song with those lyrics, and we'll sing it at the start of Series 3. So anybody that's listening, either now live or later, tell us a song that you love and you want us to destroy, and me and Woodsy will destroy it. Is that a good one?
Destroy it without a
We'll
doubt.
have a good go. We'll have a good go.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all good.
Another thing I was going to mention, which obviously we've discussed. So we've got the charity match coming up at a certain club on the 31st of May, 2021. We are going, I think they can do this as an exclusive, a bit of a world exclusive. We have got a number of our masked cricketers will be playing in that. We've already had fairly firm commitments from Charlotte Edwards, Simon Jones, who's going to be bowling at me in the nets, trying to knock my head off, which will be very good. And for everybody that doesn't like me, Matthew Hoggard may well turn up with his grill. I'm sure that David Gower will be there. I'm sure that Mike Gatton will be there as well. I think we can really announce this actually now. There will potentially be a place in the Masked Cricketers 11 up for grabs via an auction for the Lord's Taverners. So one of you watching, either live or watching back, potentially can bid for a place in the Masked Cricketers 11 to play alongside legends such as Daryl Woods. No, sorry. Legends such as Simon Jones, Charlotte Edwards, sorry, Daryl. Play alongside some of these leg ends. And that will be brilliant. And, if we can raise another couple of £100 by getting somebody to who said that? Oh, no. It says Facebook user. I can't believe it. No, if we can get somebody to to sponsor a place in the side, they can have a game alongside the legends. They'll get a tea with it, a lovely tea, which will be worthwhile. And as you know, if you were at the last game, it's a fantastic atmosphere, and that's something we'll be doing. We'll be announcing more details on that in the new series in February, but we will be unveiling an auction to have an opportunity to play in the game alongside some legends, Daryl.
Yeah, and that'll be interesting to see how much that goes for, because it's well worth a bid, I would suggest. We'll have more news on that in the new series, obviously. News for the New Year special is that there is also another cash prize up for grabs, courtesy, of course, of Pop Activation, which is, oh, hang on, I've done it wrong. Oh, no, I can't do it this time. There it is. It's in that corner. There it is.
Try to do it. There. It's there. Hold on. It's there.
Oh, well done. Well done. What will happen on New Year's special is that Paul Humphreys will decide on a number between 1 and 100. He'll be thinking about that. You have one guess of that number. If you get the number right, you will get £50, and £50 go to the Lord's Taverners. If nobody gets the number right, £100 will go to the Lord's Taverners. So again, thanks to Paul for offering that as a prize for the New Year special. So looking forward to that, because I think that's just a little bit different. We do try and put different things in together, through these shows, which is sort of, I don't know, it's got, well, my bits have got sillier and sillier, but we've actually added things to the show as well. So, I think Series 3, I can't tell you. I'm sure we won't be as silly at the beginning. We'll get on with things, as we should do as professionals, and we will get straight into the yes no. It's not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen. No. We don't know. I mean, we can't keep doing silly things, I'm sure. But it's all in aid of a good charity, and it's good fun. So we're making fools of ourselves occasionally, which why not? During this pandemic, it's nice to be crazy, I think, to be fair. So
bit of breaking news for you. We've had 2 more subscribers during this 30-minute video. So there you go. Including Mike Simpson. Mike Simpson has subscribed. Somebody has put on the YouTube, we don't really want a song. We would rather hear the bagpipes. I can't play bagpipes, but I'll give it a go. If somebody can provide me with some bagpipes, I will play bagpipe. I'll do anything. I'll do anything for the charity, to be honest, within reason. I won't jump out of a plane, though.
No, leave that to the idiot. Yes, okay. Kieran, do you want to add anything? There's a nice little message, obviously, down there tonight, guys. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I've even put kisses on the bottom.
You did. Yeah, you did. No, believe it or not, Daryl, I have nothing further to add this evening. I think we've rambled on for 30 minutes, which is probably a bit more than we were expecting. Yeah, from me as well. Well, on behalf of myself, Daryl Woods, and everybody within the Oxfordshire cricket fraternity, to anybody watching around the world, I'd like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas in these very strange times. I hope that everybody watching has as lovely a Christmas as is possible in these unusual times, and look forward to hopefully a healthier and happier 2021 when we put this behind us. We hope we've brought you some entertainment and some fun over the last 9 months. We've certainly had a lot of fun, and we will continue to do the same as long as we're wanted. If we get messages saying, for God's sake, call it a day, we'll call it a day. But at the moment, we're not getting that. We're getting everybody supporting us, and so we'll continue. And Woodsy, just from me to you as well as a friend, I'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas as well. Thank you for the card, by the way. Very kind of you. Matthew, happy birthday for the 27th. My birthday's on the 28th. I'm 45 years old this year, getting on a bit. I'm still nowhere near Daryl. So, we're both December babies then, Matthew. I'm a day past yours, but happy birthday for the 27th. Woodsy, from me, thank you for the card. Happy Christmas. And let's look forward to a happy and healthy 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sad I'm not able to see a couple of my children, unfortunately, because of tiers and where they live. And also, I've cancelled my mum coming because she's 87, and I felt that it wasn't right just to put her in harm's way, possibly, for 4 hours in a day. Is just not worth it. So from that sounds a bit of a somber note to end on, but I understand all these things that are happening around the country where Christmases can be spoiled a little bit. I was speaking to a few people I was coaching today, and some of their changed arrangements. So it is hard, but there's always another time. You can always do it another time. I've heard great stories today that vaccines are already in several different places: Cirencester, Northants, Malvern, I heard just today. So things are going really well from that point of view. And obviously keep safe and have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We will obviously see you on the 7th of January. So your first chance in 2021, you know what's coming, to hashtag Ask the Mask.
And my battery's running out, so I'm going to say goodbye. Just very quickly, another one of our regular viewers, just before we go, Sam King, happy birthday for Christmas Eve for the 24th as well. So that's all the birthday wishes out of the way. My battery's about to die, so I'll let you close the show. I know you said Ask the Mask once, but you can say it again, Daryl.
7th of January, Facebook Live, YouTube, first time in 2021 to hashtag Ask the Mask. Merry Christmas, everybody. Keep safe.
Merry Christmas.
New Year. Bye for now.
Bye.